A while ago, my friend pulled off one of the best acts of petty revenge against a company that absolutely deserved it. Buckle up, because this one's a wild ride. Years ago, my friend worked as the head of health and safety for a startup. The company was doing really well, growing rapidly, and eventually caught the attention of a larger corporation, which swooped in and bought them out. While the acquisition was great for the startup, it wasn't so great for him. He found the new corporate culture frustrating and stifling, so when a major corporation came knocking with a job offer, he jumped at the opportunity. The new role? Head of health and safety at a massive sulfuric acid plant. It was a big step up, but it came with big challenges. The plant was in horrible shape, barely scraping by under governmental safety codes, and the management team was full of people who didn't want to change a thing. My friend, however, was a force to be reckoned with. In his first year, he made plenty of enemies in management because he pushed for serious reforms. He forced the company to sink over $1 million into bringing the site up to barely passable standards. According to him, he could have done even more, but the bureaucracy and resistance from the higher-ups slowed everything down. Despite the hurdles, he implemented proper training programs, brought in reputable contractors, and spent countless hours meeting with the CEO to fight for the necessary changes. It wasn't long before the stress started catching up to him. He worked long hours, often dealing with pushback from people who just wanted to cut corners and save a buck. After a few years, it all took a toll. He suffered a heart attack and had to take 8 months of medical leave to recover. When he returned, things had changed, and not for the better. While he was out, his temporary replacement, a classic yes-mans who did whatever upper management wanted, had been promoted to a permanent role. The company claimed it wasn't a demotion for my friend, just a shift in his position, but it was clear what was really happening. He had the same pay but no authority, and his new boss constantly undermined his expertise. Despite everything, my friend stayed on for another year. He kept his head down, quietly doing his job while biding his time. He knew the company wasn't interested in real change, they just wanted the appearance of compliance. Then, the moment he'd been waiting for arrived. A government audit. The auditors showed up to inspect the plant, and my friend's new boss, ever the opportunist, jumped at the chance to play tour guide. He led them around, proudly taking credit for all the improvements my friend had made over the years, conveniently avoiding the areas still rife with safety violations. The auditors seemed satisfied with what they were shown, but my friend wasn't about to let them leave without the full picture. At the end of the audit, he approached the inspectors with a hefty binder. Inside was a meticulously compiled list of all the issues the company had tried to hide: outdated equipment, training gaps, areas that were still woefully below code, and every corner that had been cut to save money. He'd spent months preparing this binder, knowing it would expose the truth. After handing over the binder, he walked straight into his boss's office and handed in his resignation letter. But the story doesn't end there. The company was furious. They tried to take legal action against him, alleging that what he'd done was some kind of betrayal or breach of contract. The thing is, my friend didn't even know they were coming after him until a sympathetic higher-up, someone who respected his work, gave him a heads up. Apparently, the company's legal team had reviewed the case and determined that while what he did was morally gray, it wasn't technically illegal. The lawyers advised against pursuing it, calling it a waste of time and money. To add insult to injury, the company ended up failing the audit spectacularly. They were hit with massive fines and forced to spend even more money addressing the issues my friend had flagged. And while they scrambled to fix the mess they created, my friend moved on to a better job at a company that actually valued his expertise. In the end, my friend's actions were the ultimate checkmate. He exposed the company's hypocrisy, stood up for what was right, and left on his own terms. It was the kind of petty revenge that didn't just get even, it left a lasting mark.